Hello everybody, it's me, GhostCritic, and I'm back with my third instalment of my Christmas specials. So we've had comics that I'm not going to be picking up in 2016, either I'm dropping or they finished or finishing. I've given you recommendations on graphic novels, and really guys, if you haven't bought all your Christmas presents by now, so I thought for my third and final Christmas video, we'll look to 2016 and see if there are any comics worth keeping our eye out to put on our pull list, because you know we've just got rid of a load and a load of it finished, so we need to add in there again. It's a vicious circle. The only problem I had with this, because I wanted to try and find 10 new comics that were coming out in 2016 that I was particularly interested in, I could only find 5, and maybe 1 or 2 is a bit... So I've got 5 suggestions on new comics that are coming out in 2016 in the first kind of 2 or 3 months, and 5 comics that are already on my pull list, and I think if they're not already, should be on yours. So we're going to begin with the 5 new ones, and strangely enough, I couldn't find anything from Image, despite the fact that there are some new stuff coming out. But nothing I saw as I was flicking through all the solicitations for like January, February, March kind of jumped out at me and went, oh, this sounds really exciting. So I have 3 from Marvel and 2 from DC, surprisingly enough. We'll start with the Marvel ones. We have Black Widow. She's getting her own series again, written by Mark Waid with art by Chris Samney. Now, they just come off a great run of Daredevil. They lightened everything up. They gave it this kind of Silver Agey feel. I wonder if they can kind of rub their magic genie lamp and spread this joy onto Black Widow. It's a different type of character. Does she do light? I don't know. I've not really collected Black Widow as a solo title before. I've kind of dipped in and out, and she's obviously been in various comics as like guest stars and stuff like that in other stuff that I've picked up, but I've never actually picked up a Black Widow ongoing title. So that's an interesting one to me to maybe have a little go at. And it's the same with the next one, International Iron Man. Now, I picked up the first issue of Invincible Iron Man on a whim one week. I think I had a very small week, so there had already been a few come out, a few issues of it come out. I tried the first one, and I did actually quite enjoy it, but I wasn't 100% hooked on it. Now, Brian Michael Bendis and Alex Maleev are bringing out International Iron Man. Now again, there's that Daredevil connection. Bendis and Maleev did a huge, great run on Daredevil just before Waid and Samney got onto there. And there was obviously the Brubaker run as well, just after Bendis and Maleev. But they did a huge run, really kind of, they were the ones that revealed Daredevil and Matt Murdock, the connection between them. So it's going to be an interesting take. I think they'll do really well. They did really draw me in. They were the team that brought me into Daredevil to begin with, and I've kind of been a fan of it ever since. So that might be worth having a look at. Now the next one, it's just finished its run. It kind of got tied in with the whole Secret Wars event, but they're back for another volume. It's Silver Surfer. Dan Slott and Mike and Laura Allred are back on the title with Norrin Radd and his kind of girlfriend, Earth Girl, Dawn Greenwood. I missed the boat on this. Everyone raved about it. When it first got solicited in the last volume, I was like, I don't think this is going to last very long. And if it hadn't been for Secret Wars, I still don't think it would have lasted long anyway. But they're back for another volume, so this time I'm getting in there on the ground floor, and I'm going for it. So that will definitely be on my pull list. Over to DC, one that I'm certainly going to be picking up, it's Swamp Thing. We've had Scott Snyder, we've had Charles Soule bringing into the new DC universe Swamp Thing. Now it's the co-creator, the original co-creator, Len Wein, with art by Kelly Jones, who you know more from his work on Batman, and to a slightly lesser extent Deadman. They're the two that I really know. But it's Swamp Thing, great character. Len Wein coming back to the character he co-created with Bernie Wrightson. I'm quite excited for this. Swamp Thing's always been one of my favourite characters. There have been some fantastic runs, obviously, with Alan Moore and the saga of the Swamp Thing. Let's see what the original creator can do with it in our kind of new DC universe. Finally, Len Wein's not only throwing his storytelling creations there, he's going to have his go at Metal Men. Now, Metal Men are a bunch of characters that I don't know a great deal about. I know the kind of concept of them, and I just want to try it. From the covers, I mean, you can see from this picture that I'm putting up here, I just know it's going to be incredibly different to whatever came before it. I have no point of reference to this, so I'll be coming in brand new to these characters. Hopefully Len Wein can draw me in and make me excited about these characters. I think it is only a mini-series though. I think it's a 6-issue kind of mini-series. Maybe they're just kind of testing the waters on how it will be appreciated by us, the readers. So, they're my 5 new comics that are coming out in 2016. The next 5, these are the comic books that I'm really excited for, what they're going to show us in 2016. I've loved them all the way through 2015, and if, like I said, if they're not already on your comic book pull list, they definitely should be. I'm kicking off with Marjorie Liu and Sana Takeda's Monstrous from Image. Only 2 issues out at the moment, but I am well and truly hooked on this kind of steampunk, anime, fantasy comic storyline, and it's just a real great read. It had that huge epic 66-page first issue, which was just like, it took me practically all night to read. It was really dense and heavy, but in a good way, because it really managed to draw you into this great new universe. If you're wanting your comic book with lots of female characters in, again, all we've pretty much seen are female characters. Any male ones that have perhaps been in there have been kind of peripheral and gone like that. So definitely try it out. I think you will really enjoy it. Of course, there's got to be a Remender comic on here, and of the slew of comics he's got out at the moment, my favourite is definitely Deadly Class. Remender, Wes Craig and Boyd, I'm sorry I've forgotten his first name, but they've all just done an exceptional job on this title. It has been my favourite comic book all the way through 2015. It's had a couple of hiatus here and there, but it just has, it's set in the 80s, and although it's kind of like semi-autobiographical of Remender's life back in the 80s, regardless of that, Remender knows how to show the 80s as it really was, and all the kind of like 80s Easter eggs he throws in there. For someone whose kind of informative years was the 80s, I pick up on them all, and I just love the kind of nostalgia and reminiscing, and of course there's loads of action, explosions, blood and gore and all that thrown in as well. So I'm sure you're all picking up Deadly Class. If you're not, go and find those trades and then jump on board. They're about to kick off kind of the last story arc before taking another hiatus and then starting afresh again. Excited to see what they've all got for 2016. Moving over to Marvel, I've really been enjoying this incarnation of Doctor Strange. Jason Aaron, Chris Bachalo, match made in heaven. Bachalo really knows how to just draw a great comic book. He is kind of like the quintessential comic book artist, and I mean that in a comic booky way. This isn't like fine art, this is pure comic book art, what I call comic book art, and he knows how to make everything look magical, kind of spooky in times. The humour he can draw out of his art, and Jason Aaron's really telling an interesting story, kind of giving us little tidbits here and there of this upcoming danger. I'm very, very excited for this title. I've always liked Doctor Strange. Again, another character who I've never actually, as much as I've enjoyed the work, I've never got it in a ongoing series, so this is my chance to kind of again get on the bottom floor and ride with it, and hopefully Aaron and Bachalo can make this character last and get everyone really excited about him. Obviously there's the movie coming up, I don't know if it's next year or the year after, but clearly that's in the works as well. This is and maybe we've only had one issue out of it, and again I have no point of reference for this. I've never I've heard of them. I've heard Tim Howard Mouse talk about the original series of this a lot, but we have our all different Marvel, and we have the Squadron Supreme. Now I read the first issue, really enjoyed it, but it was our kind of like WTF moment in it, and I kind of got the feeling, is this going to be Marvel's new Exiles kind of comic book? Are they actually on alternate universes and have to, you know, sort out stuff in there and then jump into another dimension or another universe again? Because what happened couldn't really have happened, surely. I'm not going to spoil that for anyone. I really enjoyed the first issue. Whether it's something I'm going to put on my pull list, I'll wait a couple of issues because I'm sure I'll be able to pick it up off the shelves. But it's an interesting one. Finally, I'm going to give Vertigo a shout out because they're doing some really great work. Bit worried that they were kind of like lapsing and might have pitted away, but they've really pushed forward some great new titles, and my favourite is of course Gail Simone's Clean Room. Spooky, scary, nightmarish hell visions, nightmares every night after reading this comic. 3 issues in, so chance for you all to kind of catch up and then jump on board for 2016. But to my knowledge, I don't think Gail Simone's written an out kind of horror comic, but this is certainly on its way. You have the kind of in-your-face visuals that are incredibly scary, but it's kind of psychological as well. So if that's kind of your thing, definitely pick this issue up. So there are my 10 comics for you to look out for in 2016. Let me know if you spotted anything else that I've missed. Pop that in the comment section down below. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little trio of videos. Until Wednesday, which will be the last comic book pull list video that I'll be doing this year, because it's Christmas, it's New Year, everything will be mad. I won't get a chance to do it, but by the end of the year I will have my Boxing Up 2015 video. Till then, bye bye.